Hey guys, so I told you I was going to do a video on tractor, and I'm going to do that real quick. See if I can get through it before my phone dies. Kind of low on battery, but just to remember, I lived in the city and kind of city-ish area pretty much my whole life. So until I married my wife, I didn't have any pets growing up. Through a lot of trauma. That's not going to bring up in this, but so we never had a tractor. Let's put it that way. I thought it was pretty cool when we lived in the suburbs, and I bought a riding mower. And so I thought that was pretty cool. But we moved to the country about 4 years ago now, and we started with chickens, and you guys have seen how we've grown chickens and ducks and pigs and goats, and you've seen how we kind of grown. If not, go back and check out the videos. We've gone from city people to homey farmsteady people. And about a year ago, was it a year ago now? Yeah, spring of 2021. I was hurting. It was getting harder to do things, and I was like, you know what? We gotta think about a tractor, because there's just shoveling and stuff going on 50 next month. My body just wasn't so inclined to be part of anymore. So we went out and went tractor shopping. Now, what I'm going to tell you about tractor shopping is, if you've never done it, first time tractor shoppers, it's pretty miserable. It's not worse than car shopping. I don't think there's much worse than car shopping, except car dealers at least try to tell you about their cars. They ask what kind of questions you got, what do you want, truck, SUV, four-wheel, blah, blah, blah. Tractor dealers assume, and you know what happens when you assume, you make a mess out of things, because they assume you know exactly what you need and what you want. Instead of approaching every single person like, oh, I've never had a tractor before. I know nothing about tractors. Or even worse is when you tell them, look, I'm brand new at buying tractors. I don't know much. And then they go, okay, what do you want? Want a 20 horse, 50 horse, 500 horse? I mean, they don't even ask. They just assume, okay, what kind of tractor do you need? And you just said, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to get off this bandwagon, but it just really is bad. I mean, they don't help you think about processes. They don't help you think about what you need to buy with it. You really got to do your own research before you go. Tractor Mike is on YouTube. Awesome. I really learned a lot by watching him. If you're buying used tractors or new tractors or whatever, this guy gives you a lot of good information. He used to work a tractor dealer, I believe, maybe manage it. I don't know. But I will tell you, the salespeople at tractor dealers are almost worthless. I'm sorry, but they just are. I mean, the guy who was nice that helped us, the people I met were nice, but they did not offer real help to people who don't know what they're doing with tractors. Because I never owned a tractor, like I said. So I didn't know if I needed a 20 horse, a 50 horse, a 30 horse, a 55 horse. And then you start thinking about brands. New Holland, John Deere, Kubota. There's like 4 or 5 other mixed brands in there somewhere. And then you throw out on YouTube or you throw it on Facebook, hey, what's the best brand? And it's just like talking to a car guy. It's like, Ford's the only guy to have, Chevy's the only thing to drive, Buick or whatever. It's like, okay, I didn't ask for your obsessive loyalty. I just want to know what you had and why you liked it. But that's kind of complicated in this world, I guess. People don't like to just simply go, hey, I got a Kubota or I got a New Holland, like it, don't like this. Guess it's too complicated. I guess tractors are like cars. It triggers personal reaction. Well, so we decided to do our own research. We went online, watched a lot of Tractor Mike videos, watched several other homesteader videos. They helped, but they really didn't fix the problem when I went shopping. So here's the deal. We ended up trying John Deere and Kubota and New Holland. The New Holland was okay. The guy was totally didn't care if we bought or not. He didn't care. He's like, yeah, that's what we have. Yeah, here's the price. What do you want? I don't know. I don't know about tractors. Okay, well, here's a good one. No explanation. I'm like, yeah, no, we're out of here. So we went down and tried the Kubota, and the guy was better. He let us drive some around. You know, he kind of talked to us a little bit about what we were going to do with it. And then we went to John Deere, and I'll say probably he was the best sales rep. He kind of asked us some questions, but again, just kind of generalized, like we're supposed to know, hi kitty, what we're doing and what we need. Do we need garden tires? Do we need tractor tires? Do we need turf tires? Do we need, like, I don't know what you call them even today. So those type of tires. But I knew that's what I wanted because of where we live. But, so I mean, really didn't get a ton of help. We did get to drive a John Deere, which was a really nice tractor. And then I went and drove the Kubota, and both are really nice tractors. And I honestly was leaning towards the John Deere. But John Deere had one little problem that Kubota didn't. They wanted 10% down to get the same price tractor. So 0 down or 10% down, I went with the 0 down. Well, me and Mom went with 0 down, April. So anyways, what we bought was a 2610, LX 2610. Now, if you don't know, and probably don't if you're looking at tractors for the first time, 26 is the horsepower on Kubota. I don't know about John Deere, but 26 in the Series 10, and it's an LX 10 26 horse. We wanted a 30, but during the pandemic, apparently they couldn't find one anywhere in like 6 states or whatever, and they had this one, so it's pretty much the same thing. Now, this comes with, well, no, it don't come with. You have to buy it. See, that's another thing I thought. You would think a garden tractor for a farm would come automatically with the bucket, but it doesn't. You can literally buy the tractor by itself, no bucket. I don't know why, but I guess you got a bucket laying around? Maybe. I know Pete from Just a Few Acres Farm got a lot of old buckets on different tractors, so maybe that's why. So anyways, we bought the 2610 and the bucket, and you've seen me moving stuff around. We also paid like $700 for the fork lifts things. And I would tell you what, it's worth every cent to buy those forklift thingies. You can buy attachments for your bucket, but they're like $200 and a few $100 more if you can afford it. Buy the forklift attachment. It makes life easier, moving stuff. And we also bought the snowblower. Now, we live in Michigan. We haven't had a lot of snowy winters lately, but we've had some. And I thought this would be a fantastic deal. I was talking to the guy and I said, well, look, here's a question I got. Why does anybody buy a snowblower that goes on the back of the tractor, on the PTO back here? If you don't know, this is called a PTO, Power Transfers. Oh, I don't know what. PTO. It puts power to things like rototillers and snowblowers. And the Kubota has a mid one, a front one, a mid one, and a back one. So it has 2, and that's where the snowblower hooks up. I'll talk about that in a minute. But, so the point being, I asked him, I said, why do anybody buy a back one? It seems like that would hurt to have to go like, I'm blowing snow backwards. But and he's like, I don't really know. I guess it's just preference. That's what he said. Now, here's the thing. When I had it, we only used it once so far because we only had one big snowstorm. It blows snow. Man, that puppy blows snow. And it's all hydraulic, and it's really kind of cool. I did actually order one with a hand crank for the chute, but they sent me one that was controlled through my levers. That's kind of cool, but a little bit more money than I want to spend, but I didn't argue. So we got that one, and I started when to put it on, I realized, oh, there's a reason you get the back one. And I'm going to tell you what that reason is, where the guy at the Kubota dealer did not, and neither did the kid at John Deere. The reason you buy a rear one is so in the winter, when you need to clean out your poop pens, you still have a bucket on the front of your tractor. I know. You would think I would have known that. You think I would put 2 and 2 together. But I just didn't think about it. I just thought about cranking my net backwards and driving backwards and blowing snow and didn't want to do it. So if you go to buy a new tractor and you want to buy, I don't know if I have answer to whether this was the best thing to buy, the front, or I should have bought a back. This works great. I don't crank my neck, but I've got to change the bedding in our stalls here probably the next day or two. So I've got to drop that off and reattach the bucket over here. So that's going to be, it's not hard work. I will say this is not the hardest thing to install and take off, but it's just time. About 20 minutes at least, 20, 30 minutes probably. And there's a little bit of wiggling and irritation with the oils and stuff like that. But, so think about that if you go to buy a farm tractor and you live in a snowy area. Is it better to turn your head backwards and just leave your buckets attached? I think I would have done that if I did it again right now. I would buy the rear tractor just because I don't want to deal with dropping the bucket and all that. I just want to leave it attached. So that would be my preference at this point. But I will say this works really good. Now, this is the new tractors, I don't know about the old tractors. This has got what they call a quick attach system. And so it's got a little shaft that goes under there to the mid PTO, power transfer, what do they call that? Yeah, you guys know, put it in the comments. And then it goes to this, it's pretty easy to attach. It's a couple slidey pins, couple of, what they call them, my brain's hiccuping, but they're slidey pins, big metal rods that go through and you put the safety cotter pins in them. And then it attaches. Now, again, I was told by the dealer, sales guy, oh, they'll come out and help you put it on for the first time. Don't worry, you've never done it before. Cool. Okay, great. So I call him in November going, hey, can I get scheduled to come out and do this? I get a hold of somebody at the same dealership. Now, my salesman is no longer working there. Wonder why. And he says, what? Come out and put your snowblower on. We don't do that. Wait, you don't do that? No, you just put it on yourself. There's videos online. Again, tractor dealers so far has not made me the happiest person in the world. They're not the most customer-oriented type of people. I will say, I'm not going to tell you who my tractor dealer is because, I'll get to that. So the point is, so I said, okay, so I went online, found out how to put it on. First, I had to find out how to take that off. I didn't know. Like I said, my first tractor. And if you don't know, you don't know. Thank goodness for YouTube, right? So it's a simple process. Maybe when I put it back on, I'll do a little quick instruction video of my own. And when I take this off and put it back on, I'm going to do another little video because there's a couple little glitches that they should have showed me or told me about. So I go through the process, and long story short, there was one little piece that isn't marked on it that makes it work. And if you don't do that, it just sits there and goes, nothing. It doesn't do nothing. And so you're sitting there getting kind of irritated, and I was getting irritated, and I called the dealership and got a hold of a manager finally. I said, look, what's the deal? Blah, blah, blah. And he says, well, yeah, we come out and put them on all the time. Let me tell you something. Make up your mind, okay? So anyways, he told me what I needed, he thought the problem was, and it was the problem, so good job, Scott. He did kind of come through for me to figure out how the problem was. But still, this is what I'm talking about. Tractor dealers, if you don't know what you want, you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know what you're going to be doing with it. I mean, because I didn't know. We're a new farm. I mean, I'm going to be picking up poop. I'm going to be moving stuff around the yard. I didn't think about weight. I mean, some of our chicken houses out here weigh well over 1,000 pounds, and I didn't think about that. I didn't think, our bucket and tractor has a lifting capacity of about 1,200-1,500 pounds, and so I thought that would probably do. Now, the next one up had the same lifting capacity, so you got to think about that. The horsepower gives you more oomph, but it doesn't give you much more lifting power, so you actually have to go up a couple of steps in tractors to get the 2,000, 3,000 pound lifting capacity, which I don't really need, so I didn't want to go to 55 horse to get there. But something to think about. And you don't think about today, Because if I thought about today, I'd think, oh, I'm just moving poop. I can get the 20 horse, a little bit cheaper, about $3,000 cheaper. But when you can get a 26 or a 30 horse for just like 20 extra bucks a month or whatever, 30 bucks a month, think about down the road. Are you going to stay small? Are you going to try to rototiller? Are you going to try and dig ditches? Are you going to try and, this is something nobody said to me. Now, fortunately, Tractor Mike on his videos did say that, so I had kind of an idea about that piece of it. And I thought I needed something that I could add a few attachments to, like a rototiller. So anyways, this is my tractor speech. If you don't know, if you've never bought a tractor, think about it, get a hold of me, send me some questions. I'll tell you what I wish ask me some questions. I'll tell you what I think. I think the big thing is you gotta direct your salespeople. I've been to 4 tractor dealers now, and all of them were all the same. They just didn't ask you questions. They didn't help you figure out what you need. It was kind of a hit or miss reality for you. So I will tell you this, I like my Kubota tractor. The John Deere felt sturdier for some reason to me, but again, they wanted 10% down and these guys were doing zero finance, so yeah, why not? Well, 0% down and 0% finance, whatever. But the point is, I like the Kubota, nice little tractor. Do a little bit of more time setting on it because I tell you what, I'm a bigger guy, and if you're not a big guy, I got size 13 shoe, so this little space right here, this is forward and reverse, my foot kind of wedges in there sometimes, and you got to be careful getting in and out because it can trip. I found out about the hard way. And this has got this canopy thingy that goes up here. Now, when you get a tractor, remember the height of your garage. Now, fortunately, this one is huge. You got a big, tall garage. But when I had it in one that height, and I hit the top of the garage like 4 or 5 times because I had this up and forgot to put it down. So, and you can see the paint right here. That's paint from me hitting the tractor roof. And so, I like it. It's a really nice tractor. I won't say the name of my company, but they need to get their act together. Scott, thank you for that. You helped me out with getting that on. But, so that's it. Yeah, pretty straightforward process. I don't really know what all the buttons are just yet because he showed me I need to do this one, this one, this one. This is 4-wheel drive, and that's another thing. You can get 4-wheel and 2-wheel drive tractors. Go 4 straight up. Don't even worry about 2. That's just ridiculous. I think this is the power to the PTO, I think. So anyways, point is you're not going to necessarily buy a Kubota, and that's not what this is about, promoting Kubota. This is about just talking about tractors and buying it for the first time. And I will tell you that I wouldn't go back to not having a tractor. It's been fantastic on the farm. If you can afford it, buy it. Buy a used one. If you're going to buy a used one, really watch Tractor Mike's. I thought about it, but actually these things are ridiculously priced. Our whole package, well, it's not cheap. If you want to know how much roughly, it's about a little under 30. Okay, honestly, for this size tractor. So if you're getting 55s, the tractor alone's I think it was like 39 just for the tractor and not the bucket and the snow plow. And we got the whole package for right around 30. And, we'll be paying on it for a few years. But it's going to be worth it. And the nice thing about tractors, they really, if you treat them right, they hold their value quite well. That's a good thing about tractors. But the biggest thing is it just makes your life around the farm 10 times easier. My back is loving this fact. I like to blow snow. I know it's weird for some of you in the South, but I don't mind blowing snow. And so this one is, you can watch my videos. I'll try to link it somewhere. But it's called Winter Storm 2022. I used to do it with this little fella. But you've seen my driveway. If you haven't, go look at some of our other videos. We had a long driveway to our barn outbuilding. And so that gets a little tiring to do with that. It would take me about 2 hours to do all the snow blowing our house and the driveways and the barn, everything. Now with this thing, literally it took me 30 minutes to do the whole thing. So it's like, it's done. So it's well worth the money if you can afford it. If you can buy a used one and do it, do it. Learn. I mean, ask questions you don't know, ask questions. If you think it's a stupid question, ask it anyways, because you just don't know. And that's what I want to get the overall thing to say. What you don't know is what will hurt you, because I think it hurt us a little bit in that I wish I probably would have bought the rear wind, because I just don't want to switch that out. I don't mind this one, it's great. I just got to do a little extra work for it. So yeah, that's the tractor video. I love the Kubota. I really like my Kubota. I probably would have liked the John Deere. Probably would have liked the New Holland. They all felt, well, actually the John Deere felt the strongest Kubota than the New Holland. To me, when I drove it, it felt a little stronger. Can't really ask why. I don't know tractors, but it just did. But I like our tractor. I would really recommend getting a tractor for your farmstead if at all possible. But be educated, because when you get to the dealer, they will not help you. They will not ask you, so exactly what are you moving? Are you going to be tilling the ground up? Are you going to be digging stuff? And how much weight capacity do you think you need? You know, how easier is it for you to get in and out to switch instruments? Ours has got quick connect on the bucket and the thing, so it's pop, 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 in and out. Totally worth that. You know, really simple stuff. But if you did, I didn't know a lot of these questions, so I didn't know how to ask these questions. Sorry. And so, you know, that's what I'm going to say about these tractors, is that it's worth having, but it's not worth going in blind. I mean, because me and April were completely, I don't get tractor. Yeah, so they could have sold us probably anything. Well, not really, because I'd done Tractor Mike's videos and I had some idea. You know, my idea was to do home butchering of our own hogs, but I hurt myself, so that was out the door. So we had to hire that done. So it kind of, but I did use the tractor to skin our deer, and I didn't show videos of that because I don't do that. But it definitely, you know, helped us hoist the deer up, hold it up while we processed it. So it definitely helps in that if you processing any kind of big animal. But I guess the overall lesson is ask your questions. Know what you're going to do with it, so when you go in, you can tell them what you're going to do with it and get an idea of weight capacity, do some research, look at all the tractors, brands and sizes and what their capacities are. Think about, if you think you need something that's going to lift a 500-pound object, get something that can lift 1,500 pounds. It's just the reality. Now, if you're going to lift something that you think is 1,000 pounds, you don't need to get like a 3,000-pound tractor or whatever, but make sure you kind of grow as you grow in your farmstead. If you're not going to stay the same, you need to be able to go up one extra step if you can, because it makes it easier. We went up, they wanted to sell us the 22 horse, and I was like, I think that's too small. I would have liked the 30 horse just for a little bit more power. But they couldn't get their hands on one, so I accepted the 26, about the same thing. Well, I guess that's it. This is Dad just saying, hey, look, if you haven't had a tractor and you want to buy a tractor, you got to educate yourself, because you're walking into a world where I don't know why they don't care. I would think if you're selling a $30,000+ object, you'd want to care about your customer and treat them right and help them answer their questions and all that. Maybe it's just my experience, but 4 dealerships all treated us the same way, just about. Like, oh, what do you want? And if I didn't tell them, they wouldn't got any questions. So know what you want, go in educated, do research, ask people around you. That's the one thing I wish I would have done a little more, is ask a few more people with tractors some questions I should ask. So anyways, that's Dad, and this is my tractor video.